You're good.
We're recording? Okay. Oh, hang on. My cord just came out of my laptop. Just a second here. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of the 21 Laws of Leadership. I expect participation tonight, okay? My boy shot a deer tonight, so we literally just got out of the woods like less than an hour ago. So I'm a little bit scattered, but I am excited to lead these chapters. These are 2 of my most favorite chapters out of the whole book. So if anyone dares to show me their face, I would love to see it, unless you're in your bed, which I totally get because I would be in bed this time of night as well. So I totally understand if you don't dare, but I'm showing you like crazy in the woods head. Okay, very good. Yay, happy. Okay. So chapters 5 and chapter 6, the law of addition, and what was number 6? The law of solid ground. These are 2 of my most favorite chapters of the whole book. So I was excited that these were the ones that I got to lead. So confession, I wasn't here during the first 2 calls, so I really don't know how they were led. So I'm just going to kind of work our way through page by page, and hopefully there's some discussion. If there's not a lot of discussion, I'm going to keep on trucking, okay? But I get bored listening to my own voice for 45 minutes, half hour, so I would like to, Jasmine, you're in bed, okay? So I'd like to hear some other people's voices other than myself. And I know some of you I've never met before, so I'm Amy, nice to meet you. I'm part of Justin and Megan's big main team. We just had our first huge snowstorm tonight, so it's kind of fun. So, okay, the law of addition. I'm going to read that first little paragraph. If you guys wouldn't mind, or maybe I can do it, mute yourselves if you're not talking, but at any point in time, feel free to unmute yourself. And please feel free to chime in or talk on the chat thread. Let me just see if I can. I guess I can't mute you from my end. But if you, I should be able to see the chat thread here. For some reason, I can't see it. Give me just a second, guys. Am I frozen on my end, guys? Can you hear me? Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's official, we're starting. Okay, the first paragraph of the law of addition, leaders add value by serving others. How many of you guys read John Maxwell's The Power of 5? Anybody read that book? That is so far my all-time favorite network marketing book. It's so short and so simple, but the statement that stood out to me in the entire book was in his the goal of his life, the overall arching goal of his life is to add value to others. That is the main, in so many words, what his greatest purpose of his life that he wants to do is to seek to add value to others. And I thought, oh my, that resonated so much with me, even with plexus in general, because I feel like I'm not a businesswoman. I don't have a business head. I come from a ministry mindset just because I've been in full-time or part-time ministry with my husband my whole life. And so when he said that in his book, I was like, oh my word, that is the way for me. If I can wed my passion and my purpose, if I can connect my passion and my purpose to my paycheck, that makes all the difference in the world to me. And that's going to make longevity for me. And that's going to make plexus be for me so much more than a paycheck. It's ministry, right? It's adding value to people. It's servant leadership. It's loving people well. And so essentially, I feel like that is the premise of this law number 5, the law of addition. At that first paragraph, he says, many people view leadership the same way they view success, hoping to go as far as they can, to climb the ladder, to achieve the highest position possible for their talent. But contrary to conventional thinking, I believe the bottom line in leadership isn't how far we advance ourselves, but how far we advance others. This is achieved by serving others and adding value to their lives. Isn't that like such, for me, that makes network marketing pure. That makes it become ministry. That makes it it's a people. We say it's a business about people, and that's really what it is, right? If our goal is to add value to people and to serve those that we lead, to serve those that join us either as a customer or a wholesaler or a teammate or a business builder or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? If we put relationships above everything, and if we put making an impact above making a sale over everything, then it becomes ministry, and then then in my mind, it becomes pure. It's fun for me. So that's servant leadership, right? That's one of the greatest goals of my life, is to add value to people and to serve whoever the Lord puts across my path in my life. So, okay, so I'm moving on a little bit. Okay, so we talk about this guy, Senegal, whatever. He talks about he believed in treating people well and giving them credit on page 45. Somebody, when they ranked up, it was emerald, sapphire, or diamond. This was not coined by me, but I said, yes, this is every single time I rank up, this is going to be my phrase, my catchphrase. He says, or it was a girl, she said, I will always give glory to God and the credit to my team. And that's essentially what this guy did. He says he believed in treating people well and in giving them credit. Like a third of the way down through the page, it says it's improper for one person to take credit when it takes so many people to build a successful organization. Isn't that plexus, right? And I say you can get silver on your own. You can get to gold on your own. I say the road to gold is the loneliest road of all. You could maybe even get to senior gold on your own, but it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard to do that. Beyond that, it cannot be done. Guys, can you whisper, please? Sorry, my whole family's up. We just get a deer in our family. So beyond that, though, that's where such humility comes in. Like when you go to convention, you see the emeralds walk the stage, the sapphires and diamonds walk the stage. It's a moment for them to shine, but it is surely, it's not their moment. It's humbling. I think it's super humbling because that I remember the month that I hit emerald was because so many of the people on my team hit their ranks that they were shooting for. So many hit gold, so many hit silver, and I was like, that is the beauty of this. And so you can't get there on your own, and that's the whole premise of this. It's improper for one person to take credit when it takes so many people to build a successful organization. If you can have that in your mind, that is servant leadership. And Megan, you do that well. You do that so well. I've said so many times that if I was under a different leader, I probably would not last. And so Megan models well. Legacy company. That's what the president and CEO say. We want to be a legacy company, and this is how we can be that. Anybody want to say anything? Okay, feel free at any time to unmute yourselves, okay? Okay, so Senegal was more focused on adding value to people by serving them than on serving himself. He lives by the law of addition. That's the whole premise of this chapter. So on the Observe, page 46, the interaction between every leader and follower is a relationship, and all relationships either add to or subtract from a person's life. And I think it was in Maxwell's The Power of Five. He says, as a leader, we are either someone's weight or someone's wings. So are we going to be our teammates' wings and help lift them and add value to them, or are we going to weigh them down and have our thumb on them like they're our employees, which they're not, by the way. So I think that that's so good. Number 3, I'm just going to go over a couple of those questions. Why should leaders lead, and when they do, what is their first responsibility? Anyone, class? Anyone? You could type it, you could speak it. Are you all in your beds? If I'm not seeing your faces, I bet you're in your beds. It's okay. I'm in my bed every other night too. Why should leaders lead? Who is a leader? Are you guys leaders? Raise your hand if you're a leader. Esther, raise that hand. What's the definition of leadership, guys? What is it? You know this. Starts with an I. Sounds like influence. The definition of leadership is influence, right? That's all it is, right? So we all influence, right? If you have one person on your team, one customer, one ambassador, if you're a mother, if you're a wife, you have a sphere of influence, right? We are all leaders, right? Because we're influencers, right? So, and why should we lead? Why should leaders lead? Oh, Callista, I think every person is a leader in some way, whether intentionally or not. Yes, it's true. We are all leaders. I think of it like parenting. You know what I mean? When we tell our kids, like, don't do what I do, do what I say. How hypocritical is that, right? So we lead by example, right? We lead with our words and our actions. I think that's so important. And people are smart, right? People watching us, they know if what's coming out of our mouths is legit or not. They know if it's true, if we really believe what we say, if we really honor, if we're really honoring people by our actions and by our words. Okay. Number 5, let me see. Does a leader's motive matter, or is it simply getting the job done that's important, right? I think motives are huge. Do motives matter? Yeah, huge, right? And our people are smart. They know our motive. It's okay to want to get to the top. It's okay to want to rank up. It's okay to want to earn income for your family. Those are great. It is great to earn money. What's the book you're talking about a lot, Megan? How cool would it be when a lot of good people make great amounts of great money? Yeah, like The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. How awesome would the world be if good people who love the Lord and people who want to do great things and make great changes in the world, if they were the ones who made lots of money, right? So it's okay to want to make money. It's okay to want to make an impact. Talking to Esther on the top there. Esther, I'm going to call you out a little bit because she's a brave new ambassador on my team, recently widowed with 3 little girls. And so she is stepping up and being insanely brave. And she's telling the world, you know what? I want to stay home with my girls and I want to make an income and be able to provide for my family. And she's getting a little flack for it. So if you guys want to friend her on Facebook and give her love when she makes her brave posts. So that's super cool, right? I think it's awesome and it's brave. So there's no shame in wanting to make money. Our motives, but if you want to make money and climb up, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about wanting to make money at the expense of other people, and that's not what we do on this team. That's not what we're about. But a leader whose motives are bad, we can see through that in a heartbeat, right? It's so easy to see through that. So, and that's what number 5 says. How do you respond differently to a leader who serves himself versus a leader who serves the team? Right? Huge difference.
Motives are so huge, and I think that it's kind of like that, almost like people read the motives. People can read even what you're sensing in your spirit, kind of like an animal does, like when you're around a dog or you're riding a horse, like they sense stuff. And so I feel like I've been around people and their motive is only selfish and they don't have success because people read into that. Like, and when your motive is pure and your heart is, I want to help people, I want to help more people, because I know that the amount of people that I help and the amount of people that I influence directly relates to how much I get paid. And so, and like Amy was saying, it's not a bad thing to want to make money. It's actually a really, really smart thing. The world operates off of money in business.
Yes.
So yeah, anyways.
That was such a mind shift for me when Megan said that one time. You said something like the world runs on business, because I did not join Plexus for the business, and I'm not business. I feel like I'm becoming more and more business minded, but it was harder for me to do business posts. And so one day you just said it kind of like on the fly. You were like, the world operates on business. It operates on offering services to people, right? You pay people. I pay people for everything. I pay people to cut my hair, to when I buy shoes, when I buy books, or what you pay people for everything. So I'm just offering a service. And I always tell my team, like, if our motives are pure, and our motives really are, my relationship with you will not change regardless of if you tell me yes or no, then it can almost be fun. Like if you view it like, I always tell my team, I was a waitress for 7 years. Every single table I would offer them coffee. Every single table, every single time, knowing that not everybody likes coffee. Not everyone's going to say yes to coffee, and that's okay. I'm not going to be offended. They're not saying no to me. They're saying no to coffee because they don't like coffee. And the whole world is not going to say yes to Plexus. And that's not going to offend me, as they're not saying no to me. And I'm going to make it my job to show them that my relationship with them is not going to change. And if they're mean, it's even more going to become my job to say, okay, kill them with kindness, right? And just to be like, so my motives are, I think I have something that's super cool that I really, really love, and I'm super proud to represent. I think it'd be awesome for you. You're not interested? No problem. One of the girls on my team, the way I approached her one time was I said, hey, is Plexus a swear word in your house? And she's like, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, okay, super cool. And then a year later, she joins me. You know what I mean? So, but it's, if we can keep that light, almost keep it light, and almost keep it like no skin off my back either way, but I'm going to offer it to you, and I'm going to love you regardless. That's when the motives, and that's when you can go about it really it's pure, right? It's, yeah, I want to make an income. Yeah, I want to grow my business. Yeah, I really want you on my team because I think you're super cool. But if you say no, it's no big deal. We're still super cool. Do you know what I mean? So the motives, the heart of it all, right? And people can see that. So, okay, moving on. Page 47, learn. He's developed 4 guidelines to help him add value to others. So number one, we add value to others when we truly value others. I love the quote, when a person moves into a position of authority, he or she gives up the right to abuse people. Effective leaders go beyond not harming others, and they intentionally help others. To do that, they must value people and demonstrate that they care in such a way that their followers know it. So do your teammates know that you care about them? Do you have one person on your team, one customer on your team, or just the people in your life, in your social media feed? Do they know that you care about them? Because that's critical, right? That's super important. Hang on, I gotta let my dog in. Megan, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of times leadership seems like such an abstract thing, but it looks like boots on the ground. You're connecting with the people on your team, you're checking in on them, you're recognizing them when they have some sort of win. It's maybe sending them a little gifty or it doesn't even have to cost anything besides a postage stamp. You can literally send them a note in the mail and just say, hey, thank you for being a faithful customer, because you've supported my business. This has been a super huge blessing to our family, and I just wanted to thank you for that. It could even be like wholesale people or customers on your team. It doesn't have to look like grandiose things, but sometimes we think like, oh, leadership, and we get a book like this, we're like, oh man, but it's so practical, so I guess my challenge would be, when you're thinking through like how to love your people or how to add value to them, I feel like when you make that your focus, or make it like you ask yourself that question, like, how can I add value to my team this week? You'll think of things, right? And it doesn't have to be abstract. It's actually very practical. Wouldn't you say, Amy?
Totally, yeah. And I think too, like his next point, we add value when we make ourselves more valuable to others. He talks about how important personal growth is, that his point too. And I would even go on to that and add not just personal growth, but knowing your team personally. So like even like simple things like adding the books to your list, like the 5 love languages. Like I think that that's so important for marriage, but knowing in your team too, like if I've got a teammate who doesn't really care about gifts, but words of affirmation are huge to her, speaking the language that they want spoken to them, right? You don't know that until you know your person. Or even like the whole Enneagram, like we talk about that so much, but I think knowing yourself and knowing your people. So the title and author of that book, please. Like it's, oh yes, Jasmine. Can you write down the name of your book too, Megan? So I think just the road back to you. I think it's just like I kind of view it almost like marriage, or the people in your life that you love the most. Like, and granted, as your team gets bigger, you can't do it so much. But knowing your people and knowing how they're wired, so knowing how you can value them, because not everyone's going to be motivated by gifts, not everyone's going to be motivated by incentives, but just honoring your people, I guess, is important. My tab isn't working, but I'll write when my tab works. Okay. Number 3, we add value to others when we know and relate to what others value. I guess that's part of what I was just talking about. And being a good listener, I think that's really, really big. And that's something that I know I need to work on, is honestly really listening to my team. And I've just started recently trying to model what Megan does with her team, where at the end of the month, she has a Zoom with her Ruby and above leaders, and just basically says, okay, guys, how are we doing? What do we need? How am I leading? What can we do better? What do you feel you need from me? And I'm like, that's so good. Like, she listens. She wants to hear what we have to say. And so everything that Megan does, we can duplicate with our smaller teams. And if you don't have a team yet, I didn't have a team for a long, long time. And so my goal was just to add value to the team page that I was a part of, and just really, really plug into that team page, and whatever my leader was posting to add value under that content, and to just to really plug in wherever I was a part of, and just add value in your comments and things like that. I know on my team page at the end of every month, I give a gift to the 5 top contributors on my team page, just people who comment the most under the post and tag their teammates. And just so it's not me just talking all the time, it's my whole team communicating with each other, commenting with each other, tagging each other, under different posts. That's adding value, right? And that's also listening to the needs of what your team has, and listening to the needs of your leader. Like I said, if you don't have a team page, really seek to add value to Megan, help Megan, love Megan, you know, post that she posts on the One Team page, comment under them, tag your team, lead with her, you know. I think that that's super important. And number 4, we add value to others when we do things that God values. I think, and I love, if you don't know the history of John Maxwell, he was in ministry for years and years and years and years as a pastor. And then God, Caden, buddy, keep the dog quiet. And then God called him out of it and said, basically, I'm going to take you from this world of Christians and I'm going to plug you into the world. And you're going to rub shoulders with the greats. You're going to rub shoulders with the leaders of nations, essentially. And so that's what he does. And I mean, when you hear him talk, he talks about his friend, the president here, and his friend, the king here. You know what I mean? But his whole thing is he seeks to add value. And whenever he talks, he'll say, like, he weaves his faith in really kind of nonchalantly. And you notice even in this book, he'll say, I've got 4 ways that I add value. And the 4th way, you know, really is tied to my faith. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, then just feel free to skip it. But I'm going to share like how this has really impacted my life, you know. Or if he talks on stage, he'll say, there's 3 huge things that I've learned in my life. And he'll share 2 of them. And he'll say, and if you want to hear the 3rd one, you know, come meet with me after, and I'd love to share with you. It has to do with my faith. So he weaves it, but he weaves it gently. And so that's kind of what he's done with this book too. But that's what he's saying. We add value to others when we do things that God values. And he talks about the verse, you know, when we go to heaven and we say, you know, when did I serve you? And God's like, well, when I was hungry, you fed me. And when I was thirsty, you gave me a drink. And as much as you've done it unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. And so I think that is servant leadership, right? That is loving others through serving them, washing their feet, you know? So, okay. The more power I have, the greater my impact on others, for better or worse. And I always want to be someone who adds value to others, not takes it away. Page 50. Okay. Let's somebody, number 2, or maybe put in the comment section so people can read it. Oh, I guess on the recording, people can't read the comments, can they? But for those of us on the call, in the comments, just while I don't know how long, I don't want us to be forever. So in the comment section, will you guys answer number 2? Describe how someone has added value to you. Just in the comments. Someone